YouTube viewers, on a very important video for us people that want to go off grid. Now I have some videos I have to post about some products which I purchased, but I have not posted it. Right now I'm recording on my phone, as you can see that I'm in portrait. Okay, so the videos I'm about to post later on, it's about estorage.com, as estoraged.com, where I purchased some equipment, a 6,000 watts modified sine wave inverter. They are also sine wave inverter also. I'm purchasing a solar panel very soon of it. I already have 12-volt deep cycle batteries. Now let me tell you what this video is about. It's DC to DC converters. Now generally it'd be better if I had a DC to DC converter. I'm going to order a few for demonstration purposes, but if you listen then you understand quite well. So DC to DC converters, there are two types. There are, let me open up my paintbrush. There's this one for the buck down converter, and they have the buck boost converter. Now the buck down converter, what it does, example, if you have a 24-volt battery, you can convert it to 12 volts. So if you have a 12-volt light, then you could have a 12-volt light running from a 24-volt battery. Another thing you have to also bear in mind is the buck boost converter. So you have a 12-volt battery and you want to run a laptop which is 19 volts. To run that laptop you need a 19 volts power supply, but you will have a 12-volt battery. The buck boost converter can increase the voltage from 12 volts to your 19.5 volts using the dials that you're going to adjust. So you go increase it to 19.5 volts by using the dial to adjust it to exactly what you want, and it'll work. So what you also need to know is that using the buck down converter, if you have 24-volt battery pack and you need to charge, okay, let's say not battery pack, you can work with a battery pack also, but let's say you have 24-volt battery pack. I don't want to use 24-volt battery pack. Let's say you have a 20-volt solar panel, 20 volts solar panel, that's the maximum it outputs. 20 volts at, let's see, 6 amps, 6 amps. So that basically will be 2 times 6, 12, will be 120 watts. So voltage times amperage is equal to wattage. So you have 120 watt solar panel at 20 volts maximum and 6 amp maximum on a sunny day. Let's see that. And you have your buck down converter. What the buck down converter will do, it will decrease the voltage to, let's say, on charge a 12-volt battery, you'll decrease the voltage to, let's say, you want to decrease to 12.5 volts, and based on your buck down converter you will have different ranges. For example, you can decrease to 8 volts and so on. But let's say you want to decrease to 12.5 volts to charge your deep cycle battery or your lead acid battery. Therefore, with that decrease, with your 20 volts maximum output, and you're going to get a 6 amp maximum output, and you decrease it with the back down converter to 12.5 volts maximum, well, not maximum, 12.5 volts that you desire to charge your car battery or your battery pack, then you'll have an increase in amperage. So probably your amperage will be let's see, 12.5 into 20. I'm not going to use any calculators. I'm just going to just see. You're going to have a 10 amp. So right now you can see the the lower your voltage when you're using the buck down converter, when you lower the voltage, you increase the current. So you increase your amperage, that is. So with 10.5 amps, you'll charge your battery much faster. Now there are buck down converters which will have a higher amperage maximum, let's say 20 amps. That'll be a very good one to get. Okay, so with the buck boost converter, if you have your solar panel, and you hear dogs in the background, solar panel 120 watts, 120 watts, 20 volts, 6 amps. The buck boost converter is going to boost as it states. For example, if you want to charge a 50 volt battery pack, so you have a battery pack which is 50 volts. Therefore, you cannot charge a battery pack 50 volts with 20 volts power supply, which could be which is your solar panel in that case. What you need to do, you need to boost it. So you're going to use your converter to boost it up. So you have your input here and you have your output here. Input takes 2 wires. You have your PCB, that's your PCB here with capacitors, everything on it. And you're going to have output here. So you have your output and you're going to have 2 inputs also. Some of them come with 2 inputs. So therefore, what you're going to do, you're going to have your output going to go to your negative here, positive here. So you're going to have your output going to your battery from your buck boost converter, and you're going to have this here from your solar panel going to your inputs. So right now you're inputting 120 watts, 20 volts, 6 amps into your buck boost converter. When you going to adjust it, if there are some dials on that, potentiometer, something like that. When you're going to adjust it, you're going to adjust it in a manner where you will decrease the constant current. So you don't decrease the constant current. Actually, no, you're going to increase it because you want 50 volts to your battery. So you're going to increase the current. You're going to increase the voltage. Your 6 amps is your current, your voltage is 20 amps. So you're going to increase the voltage and decrease the current. So you're going to decrease the current to, let's say, you getting 20 volts, 6 amps. Now you're going to decrease the current to, let's say, like 1 amp. But that'll happen automatically, usually automatically, when you're going to increase the voltage. So you're increasing the voltage to your 50 output. So constant current 50 volts. If you're a buck boost, remember it's the buck boost. If you're a buck boost converter, and your current will decrease. So let's say you'll have probably be like 2 amps. So 50 is very close to, let's say 25, and 25 is 50. So let's say divided by 2 will be 3 amps. But since it's not exactly 25 volts, it's 20 volts, that'll be like probably like 2.3 amps. So you're going to get 2.3 amps to charge your 50 volt battery, and you're going to get your 50 volts which you require to charge your battery from this solar panel. So the solar panel, generally the amperage decreases. Now you can also have 2 charge controllers, no, 2 buck boost converters. So that's your input side and your output side. You can also have them in parallel. So you're going to connect your positive to positive here and your negative to negative here. So from one boost converter to the other boost converter. So this is your input, this is your output now. I'm just going to work with it to what you want. So you can learn more about that, because if I have to show you what exactly how this is going to work, it's going to take a lot. But in short, if you're going to input 12 volts, let's say 12 volts from a car battery, remember that there's a certain amperage maximum that these things can take. So if you're going to input 12 volts and you want to increase it, so then you're going to output 50 volts if a buck boost. Then so therefore then you will have 50 volts here, and then you can increase it to 120 volts. So if you had the little battery, let's say a little battery which inputs maximum 20 ohms, therefore you will have a lower amperage on that side, which will be equals to, let's see, that's 20 ohms. So that'll be a little bit, let's say, like probably, let's say, like 6 ohms. 6 ohms. So right now you have 6 ohms there, and then you'll still decrease it from 120 to 20 into 6. Let's see, let's call it 8 ohms. Then you probably have something like 3 ohms there. Generally that's what it does. So if you follow in, then you can understand the drawings. Now, for example, this is one of the most common ones. It has two inputs. No, this one is basically one input, one output. That's how it's staged. So you're going to input everything on the left side where you see the capacitors. You can do input here and output on that side. Now that's very good even to charge from a solar panel. Now if your solar panel produces low wattage, voltage is amperage by voltage. If your solar panel gives you like 50 watts, you can increase the wattage using this, but generally use it to increase the amperage and have a steady voltage for what's going to be charged. So let's say this one, it's DC to DC. It's all of them usually DC to DC. 300 watts, 20 ohms. So it's a maximum 300 watts, maximum 20 ohms. Constant current adjustable step down. So the step down will, let's say, 16 volts from the solar panel. You can step it down to 12, and then it will increase the current, which is the amperage. So you can input 6 volts to 40 volts, and you can output a step down current of 1.2 volts. And if you input 40 volts, then you can lower it down to 5 volts less, which is 45 volts DC. And you can also have a continuous current of 20 ohms if you increasing if you're going to decrease the amperage from a higher amount generally. So here you can see offgridgarage.com if iPhones. That's where I'm actually looking at that information right now. So this one, what it does, it's inputting the current. You're going to have a maximum output current of 10 ohms. It's basically this one. You can see it's a step down because the input, which is 6.5 to 60 volts, is being decreased right there below, so the output is decreased. This one here, the output is increased, so the input is 8.5 volts to 50 volts, and the output is 10 volts to 60 volts. So you can continuously adjust the amperage, which is 0.2 at 8 volts. You can get 0.2 because you're boosting it. Whenever you're going to increase your voltage, you're going to lose current. Whenever you're going to, generally that's what it does. You cannot increase your current with a with this step up boost, unless if you're going to decrease the voltage, and you can't decrease the voltage lower than the input. So the input is 8.5 you'll usually get a little, probably like 8.5 minimum, say something like that. But this one is a boost, so it's going to increase the voltage and not the current. So if you want to increase your amperage, generally before you start creating a setup, try to get a solar panel higher than 12 volts output. So look at the description of it. Get a solar panel which outputs above 16 volts, most likely I rather above 19 volts. We can go up to 40 volts higher, and the solar panel that will increase, that will output voltage above 20 volts, which is best, will be good. So if you have a 20 volt solar panel which outputs 6 amps, when you use a step down, what's going to happen is that you're going to lower it to 12 volts to charge your battery, and then you're going to use that step down is the buck down converter. The buck down converter from 20 volts to 12 volts. So from your 20 volts 6 amps, you'll go down to 12 volts, probably like 7-8 amps, something like that. That will really help. So that means your battery will charge much faster. Another thing is that you can also put it in series, so sorry, you can also put it in parallel, so you can have that buck down converter bring down to 15 volts, which will increase the amperage, and then you're going to put a next one from the output of the first buck down to the input of the other buck down, which is going to cause the parallel. Then the output of the second buck down will go down to, you can bring down to 12, adjust it to 12, and they show me the adjustment. The adjustment is, okay, you can see here, that's the output here, that's the input here. You're going to screw these wires there, and you're going to adjust this here. So you can see that little golden thing on top of it, that's for adjusting. This one is a popular one. The heatsink below, you have to add a fan to it if you're going to do something. So this one is a buck boost converter, so it's going to boost to high voltage. So as I told you, if you had a 50 volt battery, you cannot charge it with a solar panel that outputs 20 volts. You have to increase it. So you're going to use this to, you're going to lower the current, increase the voltage, and it will charge your battery. So here you can see a diagram of how this one is placed on the PCB. And one thing to bear in mind also is these devices, the buck down converter, it works just as let's say like a MPPT solar charge controller. It works just like that. So if you have a windmill, you can use a buck down converter. If your windmill produces 20 volts, you can use a buck down converter to charge your battery. You're going to charge it much efficiently. I had a windmill, and the windmill produced 20 volts to the battery from the converter, the charge controller. From the charge controller, it produces 20 volts. Now it's supposed to be producing only 12 volts to the battery. That means that was wrong. That was bad for the battery. So if I had that device at the time, I'll be able to step it down to 12 volts, which increase the amperage. The maximum amperage of that was actually, of the charge controller for the windmill, was 16 amps. So I'll increase the voltage probably like 20 amps. That will really help charge the battery faster. But anyways, that's it for this video. Remember that there's a difference between the buck down and the buck boost. Buck down, it takes higher current and bring it higher voltage and bring it down, or when it brings it down, it increases the amperage, which is the current. The buck boost, it increases your wattage, it also increases your voltage. but it also decreases your current. So as you can see, you can use a buck boost to use a 12-volt battery to increase it to 19 volts for your laptop, or you can use it you can use the buck down. So if you have a 24 volts power supply, that could be a battery, or it could be solar panel, or windmill, or wind turbine. What you could do, use the buck down to decrease the voltage from that high voltage to lower. When you decrease it, you also increase the current. But also remember that there's a maximum amperage on these devices. You can't really use a 90 amp deep cycle battery or lithium ion battery on this device, because there's a certain amperage load that you can withstand. So bear in mind, you have to look for the specifications also. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel.